Hi guys! So obviously by the title of this video I am pregnant. I just wanted to do a couple of pregnancy updates and vlog type videos I suppose, because I haven't really recorded anything about my pregnancy other than just writing down a few things here and there. And growing up I always had home videos to look back on of when I was little, and I would just love that if my baby would be able to look back on all these memories one day, and for me and my partner Reese to be able to look back on them as well. So it all started, where are we now? We are in September. It's September 1st today. And so in June I did a pregnancy test after I missed my period. And I'd been going through a lot of family stuff at home, so I never really thought that I would actually be pregnant. I kind of just thought I was stressed out. But I did have really tender breasts. That was probably the first thing that I noticed, and I usually would get tender breasts before my period, but nothing like this. It was pretty crazy. So I told the girls at work and they said, go do a pregnancy test because that sounds like you could be pregnant. And I was like, okay. So to shut them up, I went and got a pregnancy test, and I went and did it in a public bathroom at my local shopping centre. And I nearly had a heart attack because I'd done pregnancy tests before, and so I knew what a negative looked like, and I'd also done a lot of research in knowing what a positive looked like. So I knew that it only had to be a really faint line, and I'll insert what mine looked like here. So I knew that it only had to be a faint line, and I was waiting in the toilet and then the second line popped up. And Reese and I were not trying to have a baby. So in the middle of work, I was just like, what? I'm pregnant? Like, that's crazy. Like, I obviously had mixed emotions. I didn't cry or anything, but I was walking back from the toilet. I had the pregnancy test in my handbag. I'm walking back to work and I'm just thinking, whoa. So what do I do now? And basically, I just continued the rest of my shift. I think I might have left an hour early. The girls let me go home an hour early so I could go and tell Reese straight away. But it was just really crazy, a crazy day. It was a Friday afternoon, I'm quite sure, and we were having friends over that night for drinks, and like I ended up coming home and it was the afternoon, and I said to Reese, I need to talk to you, and I sort of sat him down on the bed and told him that I just said I'm pregnant. And yeah, and I had a test there, and I also bought another clear blue digital test because, you know, I wasn't just going to go off one test, and I waited to do that with Reese. So he waited in the bathroom for me while we waited for that one to load up. And yeah, turned out I was pregnant, and it said 2 to 3 weeks on the little digital thing, and we were just kind of like, wow, like, what do we do? It never really crossed my mind that we would terminate the pregnancy, because I always sort of, not that I'm against that or anything, like I'm totally pro-choice and that kind of thing, but I felt like we were in a really good place in our relationship. We've been together nearly 2 years, and we could physically do it, and we'd always wanted children, and I always wanted children young. So after we'd sort of decided that, it was like, wow, okay, so the next step would be telling our parents. And we waited, I think it was about a week or 2 weeks maybe for Reese's parents, because I can't remember. I think I told my mum first. And everyone was very supportive and very shocked, but very supportive. So that was great. But what happened next was went to the doctors, did our blood tests, all that kind of stuff, and I had really severe morning sickness. It was every single morning I would wake up and need to vomit or feel like I was going to vomit, and I would vomit multiple times during the day. And this had probably started around week 4 or 5, like it was quite early that it started. And I'm 14 weeks and 1 day today. So I don't really have any morning sickness anymore, but it was definitely a horrible thing to go through. I'd be snacking on crackers at work, and there were a couple of times that I did have to go home early. I nearly fainted at work one time because I was just so dizzy and stressed out, and no one knew then, and it was, you know, I was under a lot of stress. But so other symptoms I would have had would be probably food aversions. So like certain smells, like I'd walk past the sushi bar at work and I'd just need to vomit straight away. I think one time I just made it to the toilet in time after walking past the sushi bar. I really went off coffee. I didn't feel like drinking coffee. I'd wake up and the thought of coffee, like in the milk, the warm milk, just made me feel really sick. I also don't like pumpkin, and I was craving pumpkin soup and pumpkin, and I couldn't get enough pumpkin for a bit there. But that's all kind of stopped now. Anyway, so we went for our first dating scan when I was 7 weeks and 5 days, and I'll insert a little picture here. It was really exciting. I think that's when everything started to feel really real, was when we could actually see the little bud. We didn't get to hear the heartbeat or anything like that at that point, but honestly, like, seeing a little thing inside me and seeing Reese's face was just like, I don't know, all the warm fuzzy feelings in the world. So yeah, I got told that I have a bicornuate uterus, which basically means that my uterus has 2 horns. I'll try to insert a picture of that here because it's kind of hard to explain. Anyway, so the baby had implanted into my right horn, which basically meant that I would be a high-risk pregnancy. I had a high chance of preterm labour. I got told I would have to have a cesarean, basically be monitored a lot more than a normal pregnancy, and I was quite upset that I got told that I'd have to have a cesarean because, you know, everyone kind of grows up thinking that they're going to have a natural birth like you see in the movies, and they're in all this pain and screaming and shouting and screaming at their partner, and I just kind of thought, oh, so one day I'm just going to go into the hospital and, you know, get my baby taken out and not sort of go through labour. So I was a bit deflated, but I kind of can see the positives in the situation now. I mean, it's so that my baby is safe. It's the safest way possible, and it's so that I'm safe as well. And basically what it means is the baby's not going to have much room to grow. So I'll have to have my cesarean around 37, 38 weeks, is what I understand at the moment anyway. And my bump might look a little bit lopsided, so hopefully it doesn't look too lopsided, but again, yeah, I'm just lucky to be pregnant, I suppose, because apparently it can be quite rare depending on how separate your uterus kind of is, like how deep it goes, if that makes any sense. So fast forward a couple of weeks, so it'll be 9 weeks and 4 days now, and I had really bad cramping all day at work, and I thought that this was normal because I've never been pregnant before, and I just thought everything's, you know, expanding and contracting and, you know, getting bigger, and baby's getting bigger and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like hunched over and I'm like got real bad back pain, and I'm thinking, is this really normal? And then, you know, I jumped on Google, and people with bicornuate uteruses said that yes, you know, we go through a bit more pain. I don't know if that's true because it was just Google and just forums, but it turned out that it wasn't actually normal, and that afternoon I started bleeding, and I was bleeding quite heavy. And this might be TMI, but I had clots, and I was freaking out because I had been Googling everything, and this sounded exactly like a miscarriage, and I was, you know, very upset. I had all these different emotions. So Reese and I went to the doctors that night, and that was a Friday night, and I think it was a Friday night. And anyway, she said, okay, like, first thing in the morning you have to go for an ultrasound, you know, we got to check this out, this is very serious. And so that night I was thinking that I'd miscarried. I was like 90% sure that I'd had a miscarriage, and I was just feeling disconnected with my body. Like, I was just, you know, not wanting to put my hand on my tummy. I was just feeling kind of like a failure, I guess. And I know that's so silly because it would be, you know, not my fault, or it's just one of those things that happen, but I still felt really disconnected with my body and just upset. Like, I was crying a lot, and I just, you know, being told that it was sort of rare for me to be able to fall pregnant so easily, I was like, oh, does this mean that I'm gonna, you know, be able to fall pregnant again, or is this gonna be it? Anyway, you know, just pregnant lady overthinking. The next day we went to have the ultrasound, and she said, there's your little baby, see its heart beating away, and we could see the baby, and it was there. And we were like, what the hell? Like, we were so happy. But turns out that it looked like I had actually been carrying twins, and a twin had passed away and miscarried. And because of my bicornuate uterus, I couldn't carry twins because of the room. So yeah, that's what looked like happened, but I still have a healthy little baby, and that was probably the biggest relief feeling. I remember I had tears coming out of my eyes, and it's funny because, you know, we weren't trying for a baby or anything, but, you know, I felt so connected to it even at that time. Like, oh, it's just a real, like, when you become pregnant, it's just crazy. It's just crazy how, like, you become connected to this thing growing inside you and you haven't even met it yet. It's just amazing. Anyway, so then I went for my 12-week scan, so flash forward a few more weeks, and this was a really cool scan. We got to see, like, the baby really looked like a baby now. Like, you could see its little hands and its little feet, and like, oh, it was just so cute. And we got to hear the heartbeat, which was awesome. It sounded like a million galloping horses, and like Reese and I were just so happy. Like, it was just awesome. So what else? I am 14 weeks and 1 day today, and my morning sickness has all gone away. My boobs aren't very sore anymore, but they are definitely bigger, and I've been wearing sort of bras without underwire, like just Bonds bras that are really comfortable. But I've been loving my new rack. So I've been feeling very tired though, I will say, very exhausted. Even sort of going for walk, like if Reese and I go to the shops and we go shopping, I'll be like really tired after like walking around for 20 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted. I just feel tired all of the time. And I'm quite hungry all of the time, and my aversions have gone away. I think a lot of my cravings have gone away, but they might come back, I'm not sure. But I haven't wanted pumpkins anymore, really. I haven't really wanted anything sweet. I think I've wanted more savory foods like cheese. Like, absolutely love cheese. It's one of my favorite foods. So I've been eating lots of cheese. Hard cheese, that is, not all the soft cheese that you can't eat. I was quite upset when I found out that I couldn't have soft serve ice cream, because ice cream is my #1 all-time favorite food, but I haven't even felt like it really, which is really weird. But yeah, cheese, like pies and sausage rolls and all that kind of stuff, that's kind of what I've been craving, I guess. I'm not sure if it is a craving or if I just feel like it, but I also have gone back to drinking coffee. They recommend that you have about 2 cups of instant coffee a day, so I have about 2 cups. I never have 3, and they're not very strong either. And that's about it. So I do feel like I'm getting a little bump. Well, I do know that I am getting a little bump because, you know, it's almost like being bloated all the time. And I'll show you now. But this isn't probably the best outfit to be wearing, but I'm even sort of, I don't know. It's quite strange. I was 51 kilos before I got pregnant, and now I am 54 kilos. My BMI was under 18, so they've got to sort of monitor me because I'll be gaining, you know, the largest amount of weight, or I think it's between 12 to 18 kilos I'm meant to gain. But yeah, so I'll let you know how everything goes. I just kind of wanted to make this vlog to get everything out there, and so that when I make the next one I don't have to say everything all over again. But yeah, at the moment everything's really cruisy. Oh, I also did the Harmony blood test, that's what I wanted to say. So on Monday we did the Harmony blood test, which tests for all the chromosomal and genetic things. It's not a free test, it cost us about $400, but they also are able to find out the gender of the baby, and we get those results next week. So yeah, I'm so excited. I don't know, like I had a dream last night that we had a boy, but I've had dreams that we've had a girl, that it was a girl, and just had the most vivid dreams. That's another thing probably. But yeah, so we find out next week and I'll probably let you all know then. So stay tuned. See you later guys. Thanks you so much for watching. Bye.